Obaseki was reported in Benin City after he was allegedly attacked by suspected thugs under unclear circumstances. According to eyewitness account, the assailant confronted him after accusing him of disparaging the Oba of Benin while he was in Europe and forcefully took him away from the field where he had gone to play football on Sunday morning.
Right, everyone, welcome to Post Media Services. Now, Don Pedro Obaseki was recently beaten up. But of course, a lot of people didn't know the reason why he was beaten up. Here's what happened.
In May 1914, to thank Obaseki for rebuilding the palace with 25 pounds, because the palace was razed to the ground, he gave the last daughter, Ebuse, to Obaseki. I'm sure a man will be a fool to give his daughters as wives to his enemy or betrayer. Hello. Finally, as at the time Akenzwa was Oba, Agboinfo Obaseki was Obaseki of Benin. Dosin Ogbemudia, the grandfather of Owen, was Oba Edo of Benin. Jackson Ayamehwe Obaseki, who was referred to as the Emperor of Usiomo, and the father of Oyuki Obaseki, the first president of Godwin. And we must understand that only 4 persons since the creation of the Midwest have ruled from Osadepe Avenue 4 since 1960. Obemudia, Oyeku, Lucky Benedium, and Godwin Obaseki. Benins have a way of trying to rubbish the best of us, so that we can continue to be led by the worst of us. So when they call people in Benin in the time of Godwin, you may call Pedro, you may call Crusoe, you may call all other persons that have represented the best of us. Today, when they call our people, they will call Kabaka. No, it is an existential situation. They will call Egugu.
No matter. No matter. Can you imagine?
I want to say this because all of you left Benin because you want a better life for yourselves and by extension your families and all. But this is a man, Oshomole, I told Oshomole last week, but I don't know any other Oshomole. It's the only Oshomole I know. And it's from him, other Oshomoles. But Godwin's father, we know. Godwin's grandfather is the first Edo or Delta man to have been given commander of the Order of the British Empire in 1951. Wait, hold on. By not Queen Elizabeth, but by Queen Elizabeth's father. And he was the first Edo or Delta man to sit on the Privy Council of Nigeria that had only 5 persons. Kashim Ibrahim, Chief Odumegu Ojukwu, and Ikoba Somonyan Gaius Obaseki, his grandfather. And his great-grandfather stood in the gap when Nigeria was being captured by the British. We are here today as a people because our goal, Noria said, stood in the gap as the paramount chief of Edo, or the old Benin Empire, and all allied territories from Kukuruku to Bayelsa.
Oh, Don Pedro!
And that is why he is who he is. There is a legacy behind him, and he cannot falter. And 25,000 Oshomoles and 50,000 mental dwarfish D7 governor of Benin cannot write the history of Godwin.
I swear.
And finally, I want this, my elder brother is not aware about to say this, but it's time to say this. A young man I brought up, I took from Benin, brought him into Nollywood, movie about 12, 15 years ago, Invasion 1897. And that movie has become your reference in deciding there is a dramatic reconstruction of a person's personal perception has become your narrative for Uwa. Uwa Obaseki is the first man and maybe only man in our history. His first wife was a Tuomu. A Tuomu gave birth to my grandfather, gave birth to Godwin's grandfather, gave birth to Owen's grandfather.
Thank you.
He is the sister of Prince Itubowa, who became Oba in Obaisi. In 1912, when the Yamus was being, when Iyamu, Chief Iyamu, you know the beginning of Chief Iyamu, you know the grandson of Chief Iyamu. Okay, there is a pastor in Benin. Now, he was being harassed in Uronigbe for stealing and embezzling council funds, and he led a little rebellion with a chief they call him Mara in 1912. And to show the Beninese that he endorses Obaseki from Calabar, go and read it. I brought the book so that I can quote it. Overame bestowed his. The Overame had only 3 daughters and three sons. Agobasemi, who became Eweka. I want to say this one at Kalangwas. Uswanele, who is the father of the Reverend Uswaneles, and Elige. He had 3 daughters. Ibaka, whom he gave to Olokoshe, Omono, who he demanded to be brought to him in Calabar, and Oyinyame, who is the second wife of royal ancestry of Obaseki. And when Oba Eweka in March 1914 became Oba, in May 1914, to thank Obaseki for rebuilding the palace with 25 pounds, because the palace was raised to the ground, he gave the last daughter, Ebuse, to Obaseki. I'm sure a man will be a fool to give his daughters as wives to his enemy or betrayer. Hello? Finally, as at the time Akenzwa was Oba, Agboifu Obaseki was Obaseki of Benin. Dosin Obemudia, the grandfather of Owen, was Oba of Edo of Benin. Jackson Ayamehwe Obaseki, who was referred to as the Emperor of Osiomo, and the father of Oyuki Obaseki, the first president of the Nigerian Football Federation, became the Esama of Benin. And in 1950, Jackson, Gaius Igoba Somonyeme Obaseki, became Iyase of Benin. You must be a bad king to make sure you surround yourself with all the Obasekis who are your enemies and betrayers. And finally, as of 2013, the Oba gave me an honorary title as a novice. Who were the chiefs? Uncle Nicholas. What did the Uncle Nicholas title? Oba of Benin. Who be the Oba Edo of Benin with Oba Ejawa? And who is David Obaseki's son? Okay. And who was the Ohenoko Bosare, the free gift from God of Benin? Then Ejawa must be also for him to surround himself to Obaseki. Forget the fallacies. Go and read the works of Isaiah. Go and read the works of Higarewa. And go and read pages 17 to page 70 of Nemesis of Power by Professor Philip Ibafe. So we are not ashamed to be Obaseki. Godwin is our primus inter pares. And with him is the magnus opus of governance, Edo Ato Kpee.
He made a particular speech, and on returning to Nigeria, he faced this mob.
Reports indicate that Don Pedro Obaseki, a cousin to the former Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki, was taken to the palace of the Oba of Benin following the attack. The reason for his removal to the palace has not been officially explained, and details surrounding the event remained sketchy. Now, palace authorities have not issued a formal statement, while the police and Edo State government are yet to make any formal statement.
Pedro Obaseki. Oba Ato Kpee.
Share, like, subscribe. Share, like, subscribe. Share, like, subscribe. Put it on your WhatsApp status. Comment. Share. That's your work. What does it take you to share? You don't cut your finger to share. Share.